We all know that the banks have been facing a huge crisis, and out of the many faulty policies that was implemented to come out of the crisis, one such was the idea of merger. Merger happened with the SBI and its associate banks in 2017, I think on April 2017. But the outcome of it was very clear that merger was going to fail, because after merger, for the first time, SBI started showing losses, and on top of that, many branches were also closed. And despite all promises that there's not going to be any retrenchments, many people lost their jobs. And despite that failed attempt, the government still went ahead, and then it merged Dina Bank, Vijaya Bank and Bank of Baroda. And the very concept of merger is this idea of we are going to make 5-6 big banks, big global banks, and we do not need 21 or more banks that are going to service like the people. This very idea that we are going to have global banks which will be a big player, in India, if we see, so far we do not have that kind of a big banks, and we do not need it. What we need is good banking and not big banks. We need banks to help the poor, reach out to the rural areas, because even today, especially with the agrarian crisis that is going on, we know that farmers are forced to get money from the money lenders. We know that people are still being scammed, and that needs to be the step forward, because merger is just another way of bringing in privatization. You're going to merge banks, and then that their focus is going to lend to big corporates and be a global player, and then the common people are then faced with alternatives like payment banks, alternatives like banking correspondents, which do not have, or which has not established to be a viable option. Banking correspondents are not even formally recognized by the bank. It is an informal entity, and after 50 years, I think this is a 50th year of nationalization, where with nationalization the entire agenda was to reach out to the poor, was to reach out to the common people, was to look out for small scale entrepreneurs, and to have a social attitude towards banking and not just profit making. But in the last 25 years, especially with the neoliberal agenda and furtherizing the neoliberal agenda, we have completely reversed the nationalization and the spirit behind nationalization, where you let common people hang by the thread, and you are reducing bank branches, you are reducing banking employees, and at a time when you have huge job crisis, there is unemployment everywhere, you are going to merge a sector which has been consistently been a provider of a lot of jobs. And hence merger, and another idea that merger is going to help with the NPA crisis, that has not been proved. In fact, it has been the other way around, where banks which have been merged has shown to have more losses, because when you merge to entity, you're not just taking away the good things, you're not just merging the good things, not their profits, but also their losses. So in that sense, even a better bank has been pulled down by other banks which have not been performing. So merger is just another way in the long process of privatizing the banks, and we need to say no to mergers or any attempts to merge and also to privatize.